When you think of a superstar's history prior to their success, you most likely think of a humble upbringing, normal life, and an interest or heavy obsession for music. But not...
I can kill him! You can't stop me!
That's George Miller, aka Joji, and he found success for some of the most obscure content on YouTube that by today's standards are deemed cancelable, yet transitioned into the music industry at the perfect time and now masses in the tens to hundreds of millions of streams per song, has a platinum debut album, and became the first Asian artist to top Billboard's R&B/hip-hop album charts. But there's more layers to Joji than what's on the surface. Over the years, Joji has mainly stuck with lo-fi, R&B, and hip-hop sounds, as well uses recurring topics for each song like love, relationships, reminiscing, etc. And as repetitive as that may sound, it's working for him, massing in the millions of streams per month on Spotify, YouTube, etc. But many are fixated on his success being backed by his previous antics of Filthy Frank. Or is it all the work of Joji? The truth is, Joji wouldn't be this recognized in the music industry without the fan base of Frank. And Joji is keeping his success as well hooking new listeners to his music because his music is just outright catchy. And for the right reasons. Prior to Joji, George would go under the alias of Pink Eye, releasing a self-titled mixtape in 2014 with low-budget 2000-sounding beats and trashy lyricism that would humor or offend any listener, but wasn't truly enough to be offended by, and that's why it's a mixtape. It was a sound for Pink Eye to perfect 3 years later with his debut album Pink Season, released in 2017, peaking at #1 for US top comedy albums. The cover has similarities to Frank Ocean's Nostalgia Ultra, but entering the album, all expectations are lost from a glance at the song titles or the nasty synth melody with slimy lip smacking into the first song. Pink Season's recurring topics include horniness, misogyny, homosexuality, homophobia, incest, racism, religion, stereotypes, socioeconomic problems, murder, pedophilia, suicide, ableism, politics, xenophobia, bestiality, idiocracy, drugs, insecurities, obesity, sexual assault, animal cruelty, conspiracy theories, feminism, depression, and pure toxicity. The album is a well-choreographed mess, but within the album there were cracks that show George's ability to create legitimate music, and music that fans could take seriously with his soulful vocals or production talent and She's So Nice and We Fall Again. Pink Eye was a front to divert his audience's attention to a smaller name, Joji. As an independent artist, Joji started out with Chloe Burbank, embodying pure lo-fi in the songs You Suck Charlie and Thom, but the album was left unfinished, which made fans gather Joji's beats and snippets to create their own interpretation of the project. But that was old Joji though. Now Joji's lyricism style is repetitive and memorable, sticking with a steady-paced flow, a vocabulary that is predictable to follow after a couple of listens, and is repetitive in its own theme. And there's nothing to criticize about that because that's one of the basics to a popular music formula. A study from the University of Southern California analyzed 2,400 songs over the span of 50 years and found a strong correlation between the number of times a song repeated its chorus and the popularity of that song. It makes us pay more attention to some of the more subtle and artful aspects of the music because our mind is no longer occupied with just trying to process the main melodic or harmonic content. Joji secures fans' attention by starting his hook 30 seconds within the song, or starting out with a short introduction then hook. But not only the structure is important, it's a special singing voice, and by special, I mean monotone. Not at all a challenge to find the right key for a fan to sing along to, a majority of Joji's discography being sung in a C, D, and G key on the diatonic scale, compared to other artists that have the ability to switch keys with ease. But for the average listener, it's a challenge, and with the release of his critically acclaimed Slow Dancing in the Dark, showing a glimpse of Joji's vocal range and pushing it even more in his sophomore album Nectar, and the song Run, Sanctuary, and small parts in other songs, it's making his music more diverse and interesting. From Joji's days making Pink Eye, Pink Season, Chloe Burbank, Twin Tongues, Ballads 1, and Nectar, there's an obvious sound change with each project and constant use of his formula to get people's attention, that being old fans or new. As of this video, Ballads 1 and Nectar have exceeded expectations on Billboard's top R&B/hip-hop album charts, but both halting at #3 on US Billboard 200. There's no doubt that one of Joji's future projects will take the #1 Billboard spot if he decides to stick to his roots, enhancing his sound or experimenting in new genres. Other than that, Joji is just an average, entertaining, fun-loving guy who's known in multiple creative mediums, stays out of the spotlight for the majority of the time, and appears in it whenever he feels like it.